All right, man. Spiderman Miles Morales, man. Ain't no bio. Spiderman Miles Morales, man. When you turn the game on, you're in the subway, 30 frames a second, 4K. How did you feel?
First time I turned the game on, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was just, looking at it on my OLED. I must say that.
So if you were a kid in a candy store at 30, were you a sex addict in a strip club?
What?
When you put it to 60 FPs.
I ain't gonna say all that, but when it was on 6, listen, that I know Insomniac did that on purpose. Opening up the game in that manner was clever, because if you were the type that you wanted to show off your console to somebody or whatever, it's like, yo, that was the perfect moment to do it. They had the music playing in the background. I was at that pause screen, the start screen, for about 10 minutes. I ain't gonna lie. I was just like, look at this. Y'all did job well done.
But what happened when you turned it to 60 FPs?
It was just amazing. I shed a tear.
I didn't do any of that because I started it on 60. Like I didn't, because I know you said you started on 30, and then like later on you went to 60.
Oh, it wasn't no later on. It was about a good 15 minutes into it.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, I need to see this at 60. Because 30 was nice.
Yeah, 30 was nice.
30 was nice, but
if you don't know the difference, the 30 frames a second runs at native 4K with ray tracing on.
Yes. Which is amazing tech, by the way.
Yeah. So the reflections are crazy. When you're looking in the windows, you can actually see reflections of you, everybody walking on the street, the snow falling, the cars driving, all of it's reflected.
Yeah.
When you put it on 60 FPs, you see no ray tracing. So you do see things in the mirror, but it's not what's actually happened.
Right.
It's pretty much a stagnant image. But that smooth movement to me does not matter.
It changes up the whole. It to me is what Spider-Man should be played in. Fidelity is nice, but I like how, especially how they implemented photo mode, the switch to fidelity immediately, so you can get that crisp shot. But playing in 60 was the way Spider-Man was meant to be. Fidelity was a nice tease for the next game, because I guarantee you it will be 4K 60 with ray tracing. They just wanted to tease us for this generation.
Yeah. I thought all this time, I thought Godfall was running at native 4K 60 ray tracing. It's not. It's running at like 1900p with ray tracing, 60 frames a second. There is a fidelity mode to do full 4K. I didn't even know.
Oh, wow.
Because it automatically goes to 60 frames. You have to change it to the other mode.
Gotcha.
Because that's the way they expected people to play it. And with all the timing things you have to do, you probably want to play in 60.
That's speaking of Spider-Man. I feel like with 60 frames on it, like I was so much more intuitive with the combat. If that makes any sense. Like I felt it was more free flowing. It felt more natural. It felt more responsive at the frame rate. So it really helped it from a gameplay standpoint.
So how did you feel about the controls? I know the controls feel the same, but you're using the DualSense controller this time around.
So. Big shout out to Sony for the controller, man. I felt like they really, took what was great from Spider-Man and implemented more like a tighter control scheme with the feeling of the controller. So I felt like they were like as tight as they ever been. I mean, they didn't really change much, and I don't think they needed to. And I really love more so the animations that they added and responsiveness to the controls. Like I just think they killed it when it comes to animations with Spider-Man, because it felt like there was a different action for every different situation that you were in, and I think that really matters.
Yeah. As far as controller goes, man, I felt like the controls felt really good. It felt really tight. The haptic feedback gives you a different type of feel. I felt like I need to lift weights with my index fingers at some point, because it felt dead ass. It like the controller can feel heavy at times, especially when you're swinging with Spider-Man for a long time. If you can feel fatigue in your finger, because they add the weight to your finger as you swing around the city, and it feels kind of crazy. Story mode, man. The story of this game, man. You get introduced to a lot of new friends this time around.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have Peter. We have his best friend from back in the day, Finn. We have Genki, Krieger.
Yeah.
That's his name, right? I can't remember his first name. Simon Krieger. We have Aaron Davis. And I think that's pretty much it.
For the main cast, yes. We want to include the podcaster chick.
Yes,
bit.
I can't remember her name.
I forgot her name, but yeah.
She's
cool.
actually really funny.
Yeah.
And of course, you have JJ Jameson's Radical Right podcast, which is hilarious to listen to from time to time. But out of all of those characters, man, who ended up being your favorite characters?
I mean, surprisingly, it was Finn. I mean, it really, I love, because it wasn't the typical, spoiler alert, villain type of arc, you know? And I felt like her relationship with Miles was told in such a graceful way that made sense. And for me, I'm the type of player that plays, I'll do a mission, I'll do a whole bunch of side quests, do another mission. So doing all the collectible missions, the memory, the time capsules, and all that stuff like that, it really got me to feel a lot for their relationship in between missions. And I really got to understand their bond a lot more through that. So I thought that was dope. But I really just love how natural her progression as a character. I don't even want to call her a villain because it really wasn't a villain. Simon was more of the villain, if you want to be like that.
For sure.
But I just really felt like...
You know that was Troy Baker?
Yeah.
That dude is a chameleon.
He acts everywhere.
He's a chameleon.
But yeah, I just really liked the progression between them two because it felt natural and organic, and it felt like it was actually like, you know, that rage from her brother and everything like that felt believable.
If you don't know who Troy Baker is, he plays Joel on The Last of Us. He plays Nathan Drake. That's Nathan. No. That's Nathan Fillion, right? No.
Yeah, I forgot what we played.
But Troy Baker, he does a lot of voice acting and like a lot. I think he did Batman in the Arkham series. He's huge. Just Google him and you'll be like, oh damn, he did all of that, and I played all of that.
Yeah.
So Finn was my favorite character as well. It's really cool to see black women done right in video games.
Yeah.
Like all the way down to the hair.
Yeah.
Haley, was her name Haley? The deaf girl that does sign language.
Yeah, Haley.
She's done really well as well. Like they all look like real black women. Their hair is kinky. You can see the split ends and everything on the hair. That's how good these graphics look in the game.
The motion capture on this game is phenomenal.
Yes, his mom's motion capture is amazing. Looks just like the actress. I really like Aaron Davis in this game, and I like Genki a lot as well. I really started to see that, Kevin Feige stole Genki and turned him into Ned in the Spider-Man movies now.
In terms of story, how do you feel Miles stood out on his own for this one?
I liked Miles a lot, man. I liked everything about his voice acting. I liked his attitude. He didn't overact, underact, sell anything inappropriately. I thought he did a good job on all of that stuff. There's some really cool stuff that, like that he did, the animations, the motion capture. He did all of that. Like the when you jump off a building and he kind of puts his hands behind his back.
With the swagger
like
of a black teen.
Yeah, with the swagger of a black teen. Yeah. But yeah, like he's got all of this. He's even wearing Timbs at one point. Like it ain't Timbs, but they Timbs. And he in New York. He got the coat with the fur on the sides, like the North Face stuff. The characters are really well done.
Yeah, I thought that Miles really stood out. I'm glad that it didn't feel like a cookie cutter side story. I feel like this is a pretty significant portion given to him. And, I like how they played it with Pete. He'll call, I'll be on the next flight back. And Miles just like, nah, man, you cool. And I love they gave him that moment to shine. And I love by the end of the game, like, they're kind of like individuals. They're partners. It's not like Peter is over him anymore. So I love how that sets up the next outing because, it won't be him always looking to Pete for advice and everything like that. So I really love how they did that.
Yeah. As far as differences between how you use Peter and Miles, I just wanted to point out, like, Peter has way more tech.
Yeah.
He has way more options available to you when you're fighting, taking enemies down. Miles has a few things. I think he has 4 things. But he has his venom powers.
Yes.
And it almost feels like Miles is OP.
Yeah.
Even without all of that tech that Peter has, his stealthing abilities is way easier because he can literally turn invisible, take people out, and the enemy be like, "Yo, man, what the hell just happened?"
I went back to play a little bit of the Spider-Man Remastered, and I missed the stealth.
Really?
I missed the venom, but it also allowed me to see that Peter was much slower than Miles. Miles is way quicker.
Okay.
So
I didn't even notice
yeah, that was a big difference because I'm just like, Pete kind of feel kind of old, man, but he still has the tech and more like kind of a move set for his arsenal and everything like that. So there's enough to make you want to play one or the other.
So as far as the story, as far as towards the ending part, do you feel like it was done well?
I think it was done extremely well. I feel like the game, as it was on the shorter end of the stick, for me, it felt fulfilling because I did side missions in between and everything like that. So I kind of felt like I got the overarching line of the story before I got to the end. So I didn't feel like, oh my God, it's over. And I feel like by the end, it had a believable climax to the point where it felt right for what Miles and Finn did in the game. Miles and Finn had some of the dopest interactions and encounters in the game. I love that one where you're chasing her through the city. That was so amazing to me. But I just feel like by the end of the game, it felt right. I felt like Miles had his Spider-Man moment, especially at the end where he was like, "Oh, that's our Spider-Man." Yeah. And I thought it was naturally given by what Miles done in the game, and I thought that the story was constructed in a way to where it was cohesive. It flowed. It was dope.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the story was done really well all the way to the ending of the game. As far as the ending went, I thought it was actually really appropriate. It left you wanting more.
Yeah.
So that it pretty much accomplished whatever it needed to accomplish. Leading up to the last mission, kind of being set up throughout the game for where the location was going to be set up really early into the story. Noticing that on the second playthrough, it was really well done, man. So as far as end game, it's pretty much none for real. If you're playing through the side missions as you play along the game.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But you don't unlock everything your first playthrough.
Yeah, you unlock everything on the next playthrough, and even on the next playthrough, it's not really that much to unlock. I would say that's the only probably the game that kind of felt slight and returns differentiations to Spider-Man. I feel like in the Spider-Man, there's a lot more hideouts you could take under and everything like that. The Rossen hideouts on this one, I feel like they could have added more if they wanted to, but I kind of felt like they didn't want to like.
Oh, if you play them on the hardest difficulty,
No, they tough.
it's hard.
They tough.
You die in like 3 hits.
So, in that right, I thought there's not that much to do at the end game unless you're going for that trophy, the new game plus and stuff like that.
I 100% agree with you. Is there anything about the characters you didn't like? Because I know for me, I don't like the limitless potential of Finn's technology. And like what that means is like if you're fighting an enemy with a gun and you snatch the gun away, they just generate another gun. It's just kind of like, come on, man.
I mean, maybe she was the only one with that tech. Maybe she didn't let them have it and everything like that.
The enemy, I mean, they weren't strong because you're pretty strong with Spider-Man, but the harder the difficulties, it takes a little scratches to kill you.
Yeah.
And just due to the fact that they could just generate another sword that you just snatched away from them, it's kind of like, this is slightly annoying. They should at least have to go pick it up,
I mean, it's the tech, though. That tech was really dope, too, by the way.
Especially the suit that you get from stealing the tech.
Yeah.
Apparently, that suit has the spider legs from like the Iron Spider.
Really?
Yeah, if you actually use it in combos and stuff, the legs come out.
Hold on. You sure about that?
I watched a video of it yesterday. It was just like, hey,
you got
use the Iron suit in Miles Morales. I was like, what? And they were just talking about the Matter suit. Its takedowns pull out the Iron Spider legs.
I have to check that out. Didn't know that. Shout out to the suits in this game too, because I thought they were really, really dope.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that. So how did you feel about the suits in this compared to the suits in Spider-Man Remastered? Because they just added 2 new suits for that too.
Yeah, that white suit is dope, by the way.
For
Remastered.
Okay.
It's really, really dope.
I need to look at it. I haven't even seen them.
It's really nice. The suits in this game, man, I thought they each gave a unique style for Miles. My favorite suit was the Spider-Man 2099 suit. just because of the blue illuminating the eyes and the blue hood and on the red stripes, and they had like the Batman kind of things on it and everything like that. So that was my favorite. A second favorite of mine was the what was the suit that was red, and it had like the black, like the camo kind of digital jeans.
The Scarlet? No, not this. That's not the Scarlet.
No,
suit.
it was the one before the one I was talking about. It was another hood suit, but it had like the camo digital kind of jeans to it, and he had the boots on. When I see it, you see it.
The helmet looks like it's like almost like a display, right?
No, not that one.
Okay.
You talking about the whole Daft Punk looking outfit?
Yeah,
that one was pretty fly too, though. That was kind of dope. But yeah, I thought they gave a nice variety. What I love about the suits in both the original and this one is just it makes playing the game again a new experience, especially when you put that. I put on that Purple Rain suit and I played the mission with Davis where they sitting and talking. It was kind of fire, man. It was kind of fire. But I just like.
Did you notice that was one of the suits that Genki had kind of color schemes Genki had made early?
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was dope, man. I thought they did a real good job on the suits.
Yeah, the suits are amazing. My absolute favorite suit is the Into the Spider-Verse suit. It's hard to touch. Yeah. It really is hard to touch, man. So Sony killed that one for the movie. Yeah. But the Prowler suit is absolutely dope. The Daft Punk suit, I didn't think I would like it, but I actually liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And then the suit that you were also talking about, the 2099 suit. That one actually looks really nice as well. Yeah. They did a hell of a job. Even the track suit.
The tracksuit was nice. The black and red one, yeah.
And then the black and red one that Genki makes for him is amazing too. Yeah. The crappiest suit is the one Peter gives you. Screw you, Peter.
I kind of, if there anything I was pissed off about that, it was that. How you gonna give my man a suit that don't even fit? Okay, I was pissed off.
I was
about
better
that.
off in a school uniform just with the mask.
So, did this game feel truly next gen to you?
It felt next gen adjacent.
Okay.
As in, it's like right there. I know they could have did more. Obviously, they had time issues. Yes, the game is in 4K. Yes, it looks better than almost everything that's on my PS4. But I just know that when that Spider-Man 2 comes out, they're going to blow you away because they had more time with the PS5 and they know how much more it can do. They weren't even using the like RAM, the hard drive spaces, RAM or any of that stuff yet. They weren't even using any of those features yet. So
I think it was on that line of next gen just because for me, they took New York again and made it feel somewhat fresh and new with the weather change, the snow and everything like that. And just the color. Like, the colors were really defined. I mean, I was watching this run reviewer, and he was just like, you notice how this game puts you in a dark spot a lot with a lot of reflections. But it did its justice in those parts because if you're playing with a HDR-capable television or anything like that, it's going to look amazing. And I think they did a really great job with the effects and the colors and just making them really pop. So in terms of next gen, I thought it hit that level. I know there's more that they're going to be able to do, but I felt like this was a great launch game for the PS5.
Grade, man. Scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give this joint an 8. It's one of the doper games that came out in 2020. We've had a lot of good games, and this is a really, really good game. Short, sweet. I was actually happy about the length of time that the game. I do wish they had some things to do, like after you're done. But as far as story mode, I can get with 10-hour stories. Like right now, I'm almost done with Godfall, but it's like a 25-hour game. It's like, man, I'm so tired of the 25-hour games. It has to be super Grand Theft Auto-esque interesting to be survivable at like 25 hours. Like, how long does it take to beat Red Dead Redemption 2?
It's take you at least about 45.
45 hours. I feel like I'm at 44. And I just quit playing the game because I was just like, this is too much. Absolutely too much. I'm like 1 hour. Like you told me I was like 3 in
you was
missions.
You was there.
I was just like, I don't care. I don't care. I already know how it's going to end. It was fun while it lasted, but games can't be that long. I was going to get Assassin's Creed, but then I was like, yo, it's about to be 50. No, I don't want to play the game for 50 hours. I'm good. I'm good on the 50-hour games right now. I'm cool with the 10-hour games. Can we get some more 10, like 20-hour max games?
Listen, I'm not I'm fine with 40, 50-hour games.
How long was The Last of Us 2? Like 40? No, it was like
it's
20
like a
something.
30.
Yeah.
If you really
that was
took
a
your
good
time.
length.
Listen, for me, I'm all about length and everything, but you got to have some quality. Okay, if you're gonna give me a 40, 50-hour game, it better be quality. And I think that's what Miles did. It was a 10-hour game, but it gave you a lot of quality within that 10 hours, and I think that's what matters the most. So for me, I'm giving it a 9. I feel like there's a lot to come back to. It's just like not too much to do at the end, but for the meat of the story, you're here for Miles, and that's what all that matters.
And then the setup for the final, the final end credits. We're already in spoiler territory.
Oh yeah, go let it
So
out.
if you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so we get to see Harry. Like if you guys played the very first one, at the end of the game, we were told that Harry Osborn was on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But we find out that he had a disease that was killing him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's in a test tube, and the venom suit looks like it's keeping him alive. So at the end of this game, we see his father, Norman, come in the room and tell him to take his dad out of the
Do you know who
tube.
that was though?
Yes, it was Killer Croc, not Killer Croc.
Lizard.
The lizard. Wrong universe.
Killer Croc.
But yeah, Connor.
Yeah.
Connor, Dr. Connors.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even had one arm and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, all 3 villains in one room. And I think it's going to be really interesting how they pull off Spider-Man 2. I think we're going to be able to use multiple heroes in this game, but can't wait for it. I'm assuming it's at least 2 years out, at least.
I say it's coming. Yeah, we'll see. I ain't gonna make no bold prediction.
2022 at the earliest.
Yeah, I can agree with that.